Okay, so let's review percentages, and if we start by just, as we're starting at the beginning, let's remember that the percent sign, two zeros and a 1, stands for 100, so the percent sign means per 100. So 20% is 20 per 100. 35% is the same as 35 per 100. Okay, and if we're looking to convert a fraction to a percentage, then if we have a fraction like 1 over 5 or 1/5, we always multiply the fraction by 100 over 1. And 1 times 100 is 100, and 5 times 1 is 5. 5 goes into itself once and into 100 20 times. So 1/5 or 1 over 5 that fraction expressed as a percentage is 20%. The fraction 3 over 4 or 3/4, if we want to express that fraction as a percentage, then we multiply the fraction by 100 over 1. 3 times 100 is 300, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 goes into 300 75 times, 75%. Similarly, if we want to convert a decimal to a percentage, again we multiply the decimal by 100 over 1. So the decimal 0.25 expressed as a percentage would be 0.25 multiplied by 100 over 1, and that's basically 25%, because multiplying 0.25 by 100 has the effect of moving the decimal point 2 places to the right to give us 25%. Similarly, 0.8 is the same as 0.8 times 100 over 1 if we're looking to express 0.8 as a percentage, and that gives us 80% because our decimal point here moves 2 places to the right, and that's equal to 80%. Our decimal point there. Okay. And if we're looking to convert a percentage to decimals or fractions, then we simply, initially we take our percentage, 35%, and to convert to a fraction, that's the same as 35 per 100. So there's our fraction there, and we could possibly simplify that fraction further. Or we can carry on and convert to decimal, whereby we divide 35 by 100, which this time has the effect of moving this decimal point 2 places to the left to give us 0.35. And if we would want to find a percentage of a quantity, like if we want to find 8% of something like 250, that's the same as rewriting 8% of 250 is the same as initially saying 8 per 100 of 250, and the of in maths is the same as a multiplication sign, so that's the same as writing 8 per 100 times 250 over 1. We just simply put over 1 just so that we can our problem or our multiplication looks balanced. Okay, so that's the same as 8 times 250 divided by 100, and that gives us 20. Because remember, 8 times 250 is 2000, divided by 100 is 20. So 8% of 250 is 20. And here's a second example of finding a percentage of a quantity, slightly more difficult in that we're finding 37.5% of 320 euros. So we rewrite 37.5 per 100, so it's 37.5 over the 100 of 320, and what we can do mathematically is we can multiply above and below by 2 to get rid of the half. So 2 times 37.5 is 75, 2 times 100 is 200, and that that doesn't change the fraction. we can so long as we multiply the top and the bottom by the same number, it doesn't change the fraction. It's an equivalent fraction of the original fraction, 37.5 over 100. So to get rid of the half, we multiplied above and below by 2. And then if we rewrite 75 over 200 times 320 over 1, take into account of part of the sum, we end up with 75 times 320 all over 200 times 1, and that gives us 120 euros. So 37.5% of 320 euros is actually 120 euros. We can also express one quantity as a percentage of another. So we can express something like 72 as a percentage of 80. So for example, in an exam with 80 questions, a student may get 72 correct. What percentage did they actually get? Well, to find out, to express 72 as a percentage of 80, we simply place 72 over 80 and multiply all of that by 100 over 1. So 72 times 100 is 720, 80 times 1 is 80, and if we divide 80 into 720, we get 90%. 72 expressed as a percentage of 80 is 90%. We found this by placing 72 over the 80 and multiplying it by 100 over 1. Now let's look to see how we can increase or decrease a number by a given percentage. So let's see if we can decrease 650 euros by 12%. So the way to do that is to find 12% of 650, and remember that's 12 per 100 times 650 over 1, that's actually equal to 78. And then to decrease 650 by that 12%, we simply take 78 from 650, and that's 572 euros. If we were to increase 300 euros by 10%, we would find 10% of 300, which is 30, and we would add that to the 300, and that would give us 330. So 300 increased by 10% is 330. And in real-world practical applications of percentages, we actually come across the notion of decreasing a number by a percentage when we look at discounts offered in stores. So for example, if we try to find the sale price of a television with a marked price of 780 if the discount is 20%. In other words, what's the price of the television if we decrease it by 20%? Well, as before, we find 20% of 80, that's 20 over 100 times 780 over 1, and if you put into your calculators 20 times 780 equals, divide by 100 equals 156. So the sale price must be the marked price, 780, minus the 20% of the marked price, the 156. The sale price is 624 euros. So really all we've done there is we've expressed 780 euros decreased by 20%. But this decrease, we've called it a discount. And while we're here, it's just to take note of the fact that we can have this notion of working out the percentage discount, okay? And we have a formula whereby percentage discount equals discount over price or marked price all times 100 over 1. So a shop offers a discount of €4.80 on DVDs with a marked price of 24 euros. What is the percentage discount that the shop is offering? Well, the percentage discount, as here, is equal to the discount 480 divided by the price of the DVD all multiplied by 100 over 1. So 4 euros 80 times 100 is actually 480 divided by 24 goes 20 times. So the discount being offered by the shop, the discount of 4 euros 80 on a product that costs 24 euros is actually a 20% discount. And again, we can see how we can increase a number by a certain percentage when we look at value added tax or VAT problems. So, for example, the rate of VAT on electrical goods is 20%. Find the selling price of a washing machine or some goods, some electrical goods, if it's priced at 650 plus VAT. In other words, what is 650 plus 20% of 650, or 650 increased by 20%, which we met with a few minutes ago. So the way to approach this problem is we find 20% of 650, again it's 20 per 100, times 650 over 1, and that's 130 euros. So therefore the selling price is 650 plus the 130 euros VAT is 780 euros. Sometimes you'll meet with examples similar to the next one here, where the price of an overhead projector, including VAT at 25%, is given to you as something like 750 euros, and you're asked to find the price of the projector before the VAT was added. So to solve this problem, we must be mindful of this 25% here, and we start to solve these problems by letting 100% plus this extra 25% all be equal to the price of the projector, which is 750 euros. And if that's the case, if 125% is equal to 750 euros, then 1% must be equal to 750 divided by 125. And we've derived that because basically we've divided both sides of the equation by 125. Okay? And if 1% is equal to 750 divided by 125, we're really looking to find the original price, just the 100% of 750, not the 25% VAT built in. So we're just looking for the 100%. So to find the 100%, we know what 1% is. We multiply that 1% value here by 100, and that gives us 600 euros. So the projector was 600 euros before 25% VAT was added onto it. And in this chapter we met with problems that involved a profit and loss, percentage profit or loss equation, where the percentage profit or loss is equal to the actual profit in euros or loss divided by the cost price times 100 over 1. Okay, so quick example here. A shop buys TVs for 180 euros and sells them for 216 euros each. Find the percentage profit on the cost. Okay, so the profit the shop made, they bought them for 180 and they sold them for 216, so they made a profit of 36 euros when they make a profit of 36 euros when they sell a television, an actual profit. So to find the percentage profit, we take this actual profit and we divide it by the cost price of the television, which is 180 euros, and we multiply all of that by 100 over 1, and we can see that the percentage profit is equal to 20%. And towards the end of this chapter we met problems which asked us to find the cost or the selling price of an article given the percentage profit or loss made. Okay, so the first type we may have met was to find the selling price and when we were given the cost price and the percentage profit. For example, find the selling price of a DVD which cost 20 euros and was sold at a profit of 20%. So for the problems where you're given the cost, you always let 100% equal cost price. So in this instance, 100% would be equal to 20. So 1% would be equal to 20 divided by 100 is 0.2, and our selling price would be equal to the 100 plus the 20%, so it would be 120%, and that would be equal to 0.2 times 120, and that would be equal to 24. But what if in this problem here, just for another way of looking at this, what if we had to find the cost price of a DVD, find the selling price of the DVD if the cost was 20 euros. The cost was 20 euros, but this time they made a loss of 10%. What did they sell it for that they made a loss? Well, we can still say 1% is equal to 20 divided by 100 is 0.2, but instead of saying, so 120% the selling price is equal to, we have to be mindful that a loss was made, so it's actually 100 minus 10, we say 90% is equal to it, and that would be 0.2 times 90, okay, and that would actually be 18 euros. So they bought the DVDs for 18 euros. They bought the DVDs for 20 euros, the cost price, and the selling price was 18. So, you know, they made a loss of 10%. They made a loss of 2 euros each time they sold one, which can happen. And the next type of problem we met with these, similar to the previous ones just there, was where we have to find the cost price if we were told that an article was sold at a certain price, we're given the selling price and a percentage profit. So, for example, find the cost price of a DVD if the selling price was 10 euros and a profit of 25% was made. So for these problems, we have to now let 100, we have to let 100, sorry, bear with me, sorry. We have to let 100% plus the percentage profit, which in this problem is 25%, equal to the selling price, which we've been given. So if you're given the selling price and the profit, you just have to add the profit to 100 and equal it to the selling price of 10 euros. Okay, so 125% is equal to 10. So if 125% is equal to 10, we have to find out that 1% is equal to 10 over 125, and therefore 100%, which if you recall from before, the cost price is always the 100% value, is equal to 10 over 125 times 100 over 1. And that's actually equal to 8 euros. But again, you know, it's not always about a profit. Sometimes we might need to find the cost price of DVDs if the selling price was equal to 10 euros and they made a loss of 10%. Well, in this case, we don't say 100 plus 10 is equal to the selling price. It's actually a loss, so it's 100% minus 10% is equal to the selling price, which is 10 euros. So 90% was equal to 10 euros. So 1% equals 10 over 90, and then therefore the cost price, always the 100%, is what we're looking for, is equal to 10 over 90 times 100 over 1, and that's equal to 11 euros and 11 cents. Okay, so in this case, they bought the DVDs for €11.11 and they sold them for €10. They made a loss of 10%. So they lost 10% there. Sorry.